Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 3 at Sea Space. Welcome to the NavAir booth. We're glad you're all joining us today. We have yet another day of speakers for you. We're joining you live in person and virtually on LinkedIn. So we're taking questions from the audience after the speaker is finished today, as well as on our virtual audience. Please provide your questions as well. So our first speaker today is Mr. Tony Schmidt. He's from the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division. Tony is the director for NOC-AD's Rapid Prototyping and Experimentation Division and acting director for its Chief Technology and Strategic Office. He's here to give us a brief overview on how NOC-AD is advancing capability and operational readiness for naval aviation and our warfighters of the future. Tony, welcome to the stage.
Good morning. I'm Tony Schmidt. As you heard, I'm the Director of Rapid Prototyping and Experimentation, as well as the Chief Technology and Strategic Office here at the NOC. My friends know me as Tuna, so please call me Tuna. I got that call sign back in the Navy. I can't remember, nor would I tell you if you wanted to find out how I got that call sign, so we'll let that go. Today, we're going to have a few minutes of prepared speech. The Admiral wanted me to talk to you about how we're innovating within the Warfare Center and how we're using innovation to change how we're doing business at the Warfare Center. So if you go to the next slide, please, welcome. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you how the Warfare Center is using innovation to develop solutions for the warfighter. I'd like to show you a quick demonstration video of one of our rapid prototyping efforts. If you guys could bring that up, and we'll talk about it briefly, and we'll talk about more at the end. But it's a pretty cool video and some great capability.
The Navy is breaking new ground. In February 2021, the NOC-AD Blue Water Unmanned Air System Technology Demonstrator conducted a demonstration aboard USS Gerald R. Ford. The Blue Water Maritime Logistics Unmanned Air System is a prototype system developed by the Navy for the Navy. It's an autonomous, long-range tactical resupply unmanned air system capable of ship-to-ship, shore-to-ship, and ship-to-shore cargo resupply missions aimed to revolutionize readiness at sea. Blue Water Unmanned Air System is a Group 3 UAV prototype, the first of many iterations in technology development. With the success of the February event, Navy engineers and test pilots are continuing development of the technology, including enhancements for handling and ship storage, internal cargo carriage, and advanced propulsion, navigation, collision avoidance, and landing systems. This technology uniquely suits the Navy to operate in difficult environments on open water, through heavy winds, and aboard pitching vessels at sea. We get solutions into warfighter hands.
Pretty cool system. That system was developed in under 9 months. And we'll talk a little bit how we just got done with the 2-week ship-to-ship experiment here at the end. But we're trying to go fast, and we're trying to use innovation, prototyping, and experimentation to change how we're doing business to inform us on our technology development. So cool system. We'll talk more about it. Pretty excited about where that system is going. So if you go to the next slide, please. So we live in extraordinary times. Technology and capabilities are rapidly changing, and they're changing on a daily basis. We need to be agile and move rapidly to maintain military superiority. Innovation is a key focus area for the Warfare Center. We need to be innovative, agile, and not afraid to fail. We need to transform how rapidly we develop technology, then transition those products to the warfighter. It is critical that we continue and to grow and seek out relationships with our industry and academia partners. So we want to engage with our industry and academia. We want them to be part of the solution sets as we develop our technology. We need to accelerate the cycle of learning and develop solutions to maintain our naval air superiority. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for your interest in becoming part of the ecosystem of excellence. And we consider ourselves the best at doing what we do. So where do we start? Next slide, please. Those familiar with the CNO's NAV plan will recognize we must have a sense of urgency in all we do. We believe that experimentation can add value, increase the speed of our OODA loop, and affecting the warfighter capabilities. We must begin with understanding fleet capability gaps. We need to work with our PEOs and our program offices to establish priorities and our transition pathways. The command has achieved results through collaboration, and with the engagement of the entire Warfare Center, we're able to get things done. We use our resources, tools, and most importantly, our people. We need to adapt policies and processes to expedite our efforts. Innovative contracting must be used, such as CRADAs and other transactional authorities. We cannot afford lengthy timelines in getting technology developed and delivered. One successful tool we've been using is prototyping and experimentation, and specifically we use this with the Advanced Naval Technical Exercise, or ANTEX, and we'll talk more about that. We want to use the ANTEX to inform us about our requirements and understanding whether a system will work early in the developmental cycle and how it works in the operational environment. The exercise allows the Warfare Center to invest in disruptive technologies and, more importantly, experiment in that operationally relevant environment. The ANTEX encourages engagement, collaboration with industry, academia, and other government agencies. All this results in identifying innovative solutions for the warfighter. Next slide, please. There you go. You can go back one. Innovative thinking requires a unique mindset and culture compared to traditional processes. With a lean start and mission design thinking, we need to understand how we fly and fight the aircraft. I can't tell you enough how I stress to my team that we need to understand how that's going to operate in that operational environment, and do we understand how to design it properly. Admiral Lemon likes to talk about his days on the E-2 where they were trying to put a new system on the airplane, but it had to be cooled with a door shut. And if you've ever been on a carrier environment, there's people going in and out of that aircraft, and there's no way you can keep that door shut when you're trying to prep the airplane to get launched off the carrier deck. This methodology requires a mindset that is not afraid to fail. ANTEX allows us to experiment early in the developmental process. This allows the opportunity to fail early, but more importantly, learn from that failure. Take risk, but calculated risk. Protect your innovators. I preach to my team to focus on transition, transition, transition. We must have a mindset of rapidly transitioning our technology by working closely with our program offices, our PEOs, the OPNAV sponsors, DASN, and the fleet. Next slide, please. So knowing, and more importantly, understanding the capability gaps enables the Warfare Center to better prioritize its technology development. I'm going to point out some people here. Mr. John Torres, if you could raise your hand back over there. Mr. John Torres leads the NAVAIR Contingency and Fleet Engagement Office that interfaces with our fleet warfighting staffs. His team provides invaluable access and detailed knowledge of warfighter gaps and operational strategies in order for the Warfare Center to target our investments. Additionally, engagement with the DASN and OPNAV action officers ensure alignment to our products and funding. Next slide. The Warfare Center uses many different tools to develop our strategic plan. Our Chief Technology Officer, Dr. Ed Copeland, unfortunately, Ed couldn't be with us today. He uses his S&T strategies, and they're informed by several different documents. First is the National Defense Strategy. Second is the CNO Maritime Superiority Guidance. And third is the Marine Corps Force Design 2030. What are the key focus areas for the command's S&T efforts? First is transformational capabilities such as quantum, cyber, and hypersonics. Advanced mission capabilities, and domain technology areas such as human performance, air vehicle, and airship integration. NOC AD recognizes three very important pillars to a successful S&T strategy. They are a ready and capable workforce, which includes our workforce development, includes state-of-the-art infrastructure and tools, and importantly, partnership with our industry and academia partners. NOC AD engages with industry and academia through our Technology Transfer Office, TTO, led by Mr. Rick Tarr. Rick, where are you? There he is back in the back. Thank you, Rick. The TTO has two major lines of effort: Spin Out, which is a commercialization of NOC AD invented technologies and software, and more importantly, Spin In, the dual use of technologies that can be used in both the military and commercial environments. And we'll talk a little bit more of how you can spin into the NOC and work with us and partner with us to develop warfighting capabilities. To encourage innovation with industry, NOC AD uses several non-FAR-based tools and other methods to engage with industry and academia as part of their spin-in efforts. We'll talk briefly about them. I just want to give you some of those tools that we're currently using, and you can talk about them and ask questions later with the team as we have questions and answers at the end. So PIAs, Partnership Intermediary Agreements, Tech Bridges, the Naval Aviation System Consortium, SBIRs and STTRs, Commercial Service Agreements, which provides industry access to Navy ranges and resources. And then finally, the Educational Partnership Agreements, or EPAs. Currently, in order to spin in technology, we're using several innovative contracting strategies. These include CRADAs, other transactional authorities, procurement for experimental procedures, and prize challenges. Let's talk about experimentation and prototyping, was where my heart belongs, and that's where I grew up as a Navy lieutenant, was doing experimentation and prototyping a number of years ago, and I won't tell you how long ago that was. This has enabled us to transform how we evaluate disruptive technologies in the battle space. The key to our success has been a collaboration across the Warfare Center. It involves not just Pax River, but the entire Warfare Center. It includes Patuxent River, Lakehurst, Orlando, and Wolf, and engaging with that entire team to develop innovative solutions and getting capability out there. Some of our prototyping resources includes APSD, the Aircraft Prototyping System Division, Mission Operations and Integration Department, Airborne Systems Integration Division, and AirWorks. And I think I saw Jerry out there, Mr. Jerry Swift. Swifty will be talking to you later today about what AirWorks does and all the creative contracting and capabilities that AirWorks brings to the table. Using rapid prototyping, we're able to quickly iterate on the design and determine potential transition pathways to get our technology out there. Our annual Antex event leverages a live, virtual, and constructive environment, or LVC. The Nile is the glue to our LVC environment, which is operated by the Department of Navy to replicate the naval mission environment. We have also partnered with our sister Warfare Center, NOC-WD, the Weapons Division, in developing a holistic approach to experimentation. NOC AD includes capabilities include the Naval Test Wing Atlantic, our 4 developmental test squadrons, ranges, laboratories, and facilities. Our events are typically flown on the Atlantic Test Range, which is a highly instrumented and capable of replicating the naval operations. NOC AD has 128 state-of-the-art laboratories for experimentation and prototyping, includes examples like the SAIL. The NOC provides a world-class venue for experimentation that is replicated nowhere else in the world. Just for interest, the fleet has become so interested in using the capabilities at NOC that they've started conducting some of their flex events. We just concluded NTGE 21 because of the capabilities that it brings to the fleet and their ability to use that environment, including that live virtual constructive environment. So if you go to the next slide, please. I want to talk about Blue Water UAS, and this is just one of our many projects, but it's one that I like to highlight on how to go do things differently. So this was a capability gap brought to us by the Material Sea Lift Command. They asked us, hey, we want to develop a logistics UAS to get rid of the helos that transfer parts back and forth. And if you look at how many parts are transported, about 80% of the parts transported for logistics in the fleet are less than 10 pounds. It's a pretty astonishing number. So I said, let's see if we can use a UAS, Group 2, Group 3 UAS to transport these parts back and forth. So how do you start a project with no money, little money, and no resources? Well, you got to be innovative. So my team pulled together and said, let's go figure out how to go do this. So the team leveraged our Impacts PIA to identify potential material solutions. We went out and did an industry call and looked at all the capability that was out there. The Antex event allowed industry to demonstrate their potential solutions in that operational mission environment. And we were able to go look and say, who do we want to go work this problem and how do we go work it? So we got on a CRADA with a non-traditional partner that eventually led to an OTA, other transactional authority, through the NASC, which is a Naval Air System Continuum. From there, I want to talk about what happened once we received that prototype from Skyways, our non-traditional vendor. So they delivered the product in October of 2020. That was last October. We had flown the airplane 2 or 3 times, just getting our pilots and our air crew proficient with flying an autonomous system. Didn't require a lot of training, but it did recover just a little bit. Admiral Whittlaufer, who's MSC commander, came down and saw the demonstration. He was so excited about it, he told his buddy, Admiral Meyer, down at CNAL, hey, you need to go see this. So 2 days later, Admiral Meyer comes down. I kid you not, he picked up the phone, he called us and said, I want to see a demonstration. When Admiral Meyer came down, he challenged the team to put this on the USS Ford by January of 21, last January. Guess what? We didn't make January. But you know what we did? We did make February. We missed it by a week. Pretty awesome. But that's not the end of the story. So 2 weeks ago, literally in July, we took that airplane and flew it ship to ship from the USS Bainbridge to USNS Joshua Humphrey. In 9 months, we went from a prototype to demonstrating a ship-to-ship capability. Pretty exciting, pretty fast. Now, that doesn't end the story. So we've been in conversations with Admiral Corey and the PEO UNW staff and PMA 263, and we're pretty sure this is going to get picked up as a program of record. Maybe not necessarily the Skyways capability, but that technology demonstrator showing that we can use logistics to solve a fleet problem in 9 months is pretty awesome. Skyways is just one example of how we focus on mission first, delivering technology fast, and bringing together the full force of our ecosystem. By being innovative, we challenge the mindset and culture, and we bring timely solutions to the warfighter. Next slide, please. So I want to highlight the value of the Warfare Center, its expertise, our advanced facilities, our sandbox for innovation and experimentation. It is where S&T and R&D get implemented and applied to solving those warfighter solutions. It is a key to how we are solving those gaps. We're bringing innovation into the battle space. We constantly are evaluating our policies and processes. We are agile and rapid to maintain our naval aviation superiority. It is critical that we continue to grow and seek out relationships with our industry and academia partners, and I can't stress that enough. We want to see what your solutions are and how do we partner with you to work with us to getting those capabilities out there. And more importantly, we want to accelerate that cycle of learning and getting solutions quickly. I'd like to introduce one last person, Mr. Ron Crusini. Ron, where are you? Ron will be taking over for my role as a CTSO, so I'm happy to shed that piece of my workload. I thank you for being here today. I look forward to your questions and engagement. So please ask me or anything of our team, and we'll be around afterwards to answer any other questions. Thank you.
And sir, we have one coming in virtually. We actually have some good questions coming in virtually today. So we'll start there. Is OpNav, NAVAIR, PEOs, COTIF, etc. still using kill chain analysis as a means to identify gaps in warfighting capability?
So I'm going to let Ron answer that question. If Ron, you want to come up here and see, I have experts here to talk to these questions.
So how you guys doing? Ron Corsini, taking over for Tuna as CTSO, but just came from the Mission Engineering and Analysis Department at AD. And yes, we are using warfare analysis and mission engineering as part of the NSIP process for ASW, for surface warfare, for air warfare, to identify FIDP +2 ×2 gaps. So yes.
Hi, David Isby, Air International. What are you going to be doing any further testing or next steps with Blue Water UAS?
So we're in the process of determining that. Yes, we are. We're looking at a transformational wing design. Instead of a standard wing design, we're looking at a delta wing, and we want to see how that performs in a carrier environment. We're looking to extend out the ranges of that aircraft and get greater than what we're currently getting today. So yes.
Good morning, and thank you for your services. My question is around counter drone technology, and how do you see this progressing when you're putting products out on the street? And do you see counter drone technology helping you in advancement, or is it going to slow you down a little bit more?
So when you talk counter drone, you're talking counter UAS, counter unmanned air systems. So I'll be very careful in that arena. Yes, we are doing some experimentation and prototyping in that arena, but I won't talk about it in this forum.
And sir, we have another virtual question. How is Project Overmatch Initiative being integrated across the three systems commands to ensure interoperability?
So that's a tough question for me to answer, especially in this environment. So Overmatch is obviously near and dear to us. We're working through that. Like I said, we're working with NOC-WD as well as NAVAIR to pull together how we're going to tackle Overmatch.
Yes, sir.
Right here. Dusty Wilson with SAIC. A very impressive 9-month story for the UAS, but has your team now sat down and said, why couldn't we do that in 5 months?
Oh, so I'm always asking them to go faster. So I'm remiss. I forgot to introduce two other people. Ms. Christina Ali, if you could stand up for a second, and Mr. Jim Tomasic. Christina and Jim lead my prototyping and experimentation effort. So to answer that question, I'm always asking them, why can't we go faster? So if you want an answer, talk to those two.
Hi, Tuna. Quick question for you. I saw Admiral Corey's brief on Monday, and he showed the similar sort of thing with logistics, but on the Marine Corps side. Is that something that NOC-AD works with, or is that another Marine sort of entity working there? You mentioned Yuma.
Yeah, so we work very closely with Admiral Corey's staff and some of the things they're working on. In particular, the Marine Corps cargo or logistics UAS is a different variant and different capabilities. Specifically, the Blue Water addresses ship-to-ship capability, a Navy capability, similar to the Marine Corps, but not the same. And certainly the ranges that we're looking at are way different from the Marine Corps. So yes, we understand them. Yes, we work with them. But more importantly, this is covering a different capability gap within the fleet.
Any other questions? Oh, yes, sir.
Marco Romani, OptoKnowledge. How can we get insights into what the capability gaps are? Are they published somewhere? Or?
Yes. So I mentioned earlier those three guiding technologies. That's the best place to get a unclassified version of what is considered capability gaps. The National Defense Strategy obviously has huge where the DoD is going. The CNO Maritime Superiority, again, I would leverage that particular document as well as the Marine Corps and Forest Design. Now, we've also talked about how do I engage with industry in a classified environment. We're still working through how we will do that, but that's an area that we want to focus on to get you that information of what are those capability gaps. And then I would also suggest we put out a broad area announcement and also working with our impacts partners, the Antex events where we talk specifically of areas we're looking at. Last year, we were looking at resilient networks. We were looking at autonomous solutions, and we were looking at, I can't remember the third area that we were looking at, but again, we'll put that out, and I would highly suggest you look at the NAWC AD website, and we'll get that information out there for you.
We have just a couple minutes left. Anybody else? Okay. All right, we're good then. Tuna, thank you so much for an awesome presentation, and thank you all for joining us.
Great. Thank you for being here. And please, my team's around. Ask any questions afterwards.